Losing time, I'm fading fast. I just wanna make it last. Try to let go of the past. I close my eyes, embrace the blast. Sleepless nights and headache stack. Restlessness to hell and back. What's my purpose, what do I grab? A slippery surface, a heart attack. And sometimes you just gotta believe there's something that'll give you relief. There's something that'll have what you need. What you need. We're broken, it's tragic. We're not all elastic, but maybe there's magic. Believe you could have it. And I know of sadness, the anxious and panic, the infinite vastness of all that is blackness.
Yo, party people in the place to be. What's good? It's your number one Chief Rocker, rocking here on Vibes and Stuff. I'm going to change my name up here. I don't know why my name is that. Let me change my name for real. Put the real name up here real quick, everybody. All right, there we are. I am Uncle Freezy. Welcome to Vibes and Stuff, my YouTube channel where we talk culture, relationship, music, cars, everything that go along with the culture. I got my guys backstage, right? So I got my guys backstage. I'm gonna play a little joint first while we get ourselves together, and then we're gonna come back here on stage and we're gonna rock this mic. Y'all check this out. Check this out, and we'll be back right on the opposite side of this.
Never thought it would come to the moment you and me weren't you and me. After everything we've overcome, now it's all just archives and memories. Still whispering your name, baby, 'cause I see your face when I sleep. Drowning in the sea of emotion, but the water ain't that deep. There's things left to say without being volatile. Baby, won't you just stay for a little while? You got thousands of miles between us, but I swear I still hear you listening for you, baby, for your heart. Now I packed up our hopes and dreams, and we're sitting back at the starting line. Maybe I was neglecting, or you're disrespecting what I do with my time. Praise and blame don't change a thing. Girl, can we make it right? What's the saying? Never say never when it's the fight of our lives. There's things left to say without being volatile. Baby, won't you just stay for a little while? Thousands of miles between us, but I swear I still hear you. Hear me calling, listening for you, baby, for your heart.
Yo, that was I figured that that is Listed for Your Heart by DSJ. I keep wanting to say Use Your Heart like SWV, but it's not. Right. Salute to the distinguished panel, the Human Music Almanac, which is the Triborough Gigolo, is in the building.
What up? What up? What's good with you?
Delno Steele Jr. Salute. We
What's going on?
Yo, salute. So we here, man, to talk about DSJ wanted us to talk about relationships, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, listen, we all have all kind of walks of life and establishing relationships, whether it's friendships with other people, romantic relationships, the start of it, the cultivation of it, and sometimes even the end of it. So, correlating that with music, of course, figured, why not talk about this?
Right. How you feel about that?
What?
No, I agree. I agree with DSJ. I think the classic R&B stuff definitely correlates with real life relationships and friendships, and when you're in love, when you're out of love, and
So let me ask y'all this. Let me ask DSJ in particular. DSJ, why is love that important?
I think love is just the bridge to everything in life. When you find love, when you experience love, it's honestly connected to everything. So if we're talking about from a romantic setting, it's the start of life, right? It's the key to locking immortality.
Right.
Boy meets girl, boy and girl fall in love. They build a family, and the cycle repeats, and the name lives on forever because once you take that person's name, then that person, no matter whether or not they're here or not, generational passing down of that name will continue to be. So it's the bridge to life.
Okay. All right, Tron, what you thinking?
definitely agree. Loving somebody is a beautiful thing, especially when you can actually meet somebody in life and you all connect. And I think losing is just as bad as just as hard as getting. And you reflect back on love and what got you all to that point, and then what got you all to the point of not being in love anymore. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's really important to remember, that it's hard to even find somebody that you connect with and you can share that love with, and then when you lose that, you got to reflect on why you lost it, and if you can ever love somebody again.
Man, when you say that, Tron, the first thing that pops into my head, first of all, y'all know how much I love music, right?
Mhm.
Y'all know how much I love music, right? So
Right.
as soon as you said that, a song by Lisa Lisa and Cult Jam popped in my mind. And I think y'all know what it is, right?
Which one?
Lost in Emotion. Y'all remember that song?
Yep.
Lost in Emotion. And so with me about relationships and love, I directly correlate relationships and music together. Now, should I? I don't know. But do I? Yes, that's how I'm wired. I don't know if everyone is wired like that, right? If you correlate love with some type of art, right? Whether it's painting or poetry or music, right? I think the first time I experienced puppy love, I was a 6th grader at the spring dance, and I tell y'all that all the time. Like I constantly tell y'all about me having a crush on this girl, but I could never get a chance to talk to her. At the same time, she was sending word through her people that she had a crush on me too, right? And so you got one 6th grader, one awkward 6th grader, like trying to figure. She was a cutie, right? But I think she was like, and then you got Uncle Freezy, who's like trying to figure this thing out as an 11-year-old, like having a crush on somebody, and then the two people can't get to each other. But at our spring dance, one of my teachers, the one that looked out for me when throughout my elementary years, the one that DSA, the one I told you, he the one told me Clyde Frazier got traded, and I cried in school. Remember that?
I remember, yeah.
Mr. Williams told me, "Hey man, you coming out here trying to clap a racist, and Clyde Frazier got traded." And the world just got really warm all of a sudden. I just bust out crying when he said Clyde Frazier got traded, man. But anyways, we were at the spring thing, and so I had always did stuff for him during the year. He like, "Hey boss, I'm gonna look out for you," and I was like, "Yeah, okay, all right, whatever. What you gonna give me, like, extra bologna sandwich?" Yeah, I mean, back then they used to do the bologna sandwich in the cafeteria. Yeah, I might not remember Catholic school lunch or whatever, right? But he's like, "Nah, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play a whack song, and that'll be your cue to go grab your girl and get her on the floor." That's like a whack song. I was like, "Don't you know people gonna get off the floor and sit down? They might boo." He's like, "Bruh, I promise you, I play this whack song. Everybody gonna leave the floor. I'm gonna play this joint. When I play the wax song, you go ask her to dance. And then as soon as y'all get ready to go to the floor, I'm gonna play a joint." Right? And sure enough, oh man, my internet a little slow. So let me do this. So sure enough, he played a wax song. I cannot remember what it was. Man, it might have been something like "We Are Family" or something. Like he played, it's a little spring thing, and all of a sudden, we Are Family come on. "We Are Family." Now, mind you, DSJ, don't be a hater, right? "We Are Family" is a great song, right? But not for 11-year-olds. You feel me?
If you say so.
Yeah, for 11-year-olds, they ain't want to hear that, man. So, he played "We Are Family" or something. "Ain't No Stopping Us Now" or something like that. He played, right? And we're like, "Oh man, we ain't want to hear that." You know what I'm saying? I'm saying? I'm 11 years old. What I don't care nothing about. We want to hear the bus stop, the shuffle, something, right? 11-year-olds, they want to dance. They don't know nothing about, So I get to this girl, and as a 6th grader, I'm probably about like 5'3", something like that. I'm tall for a 6th grader, right? I'm really tall for a 6th grader. So I'm like 5'3", 5'4", something like that, right? And this girl, she average height, but her friend Adrian, who was the bully, she was the bully of our whole grade ever since kindergarten, right? Adrian was probably like 5'8" as a 6th grader. And so I walk over there, I get ready to talk to her. Adrian is over there. And so Adrian's like, "What you want, boy? You ain't get ready to do such and such to my girl," and whatever, talking. This is how we spoke back then. And so I hear the song fading out and "Don't Nothing Come On." And I look at Mr. Williams, and he giving me the hurry up thing.
Right.
You say, I can't just sit here and not play nothing, right? And so I'm like, "Adrian," and then before I know it, one of my homeboys steps in and like, "Adrian, I need to talk to you about something." and it was one of my homeboys she had a crush on. My homeboy Will, homeboy Will, he West Indian. If Will remind you of he looks like Special Ed. You remember the rapper Special Ed?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
So my man Will looked like Special Ed, except he had like super wavy hair.
Right.
And he's like super smooth. He's like, Adrian, listen, I gotta talk to you about something. And she's like, for real?
So Will had it made.
Yeah, he's like, for real? Yeah, he had it made for sure. Will was magnificent. Let me just say that. So Will holler at Adrian. He like, hey man, he was like, Uncle Freezy, you mind if I talk to Adrian for a minute? I'm like, good job. You learned something.
Right.
So he pulled Adrian to the side, and it's just me and this girl. I ain't gonna say her name, but Esco is in the building. Salute. I ain't seen Esco in a minute. Esco was good. So I I holler, I'm like, hey, I've been trying to talk to you forever, since like the start of the school year. Right. And
Right.
all I've been wanting to do was get this moment with you and I, because she's like, shut up, boy. Come on, let's go get on the floor and dance. So we walking out to the floor, ain't really even no music playing. Right. And by the time we hit the edge of the dance floor, Mr. Williams plays this joint, After the Love Is Gone by Earth, Wind, and Fire. Right.
Yeah.
So we get out on the floor. We're in the middle of the floor, and come to find DSA is so awkward how it happened, right? So we're under like you remember the interior lights? You remember the long light tubes that used to be in the ceiling? Remember those?
Yep.
Yeah.
And so we are under the only one that have two bulbs in it, and it's like coming right down in the middle of the floor. And so I put my arms around her shoulder, and she take my arms and put them around her waist, right? And so she slide into me, and I'm holding on, and I'm trying to hold some space, and she won't hold no space. She's just like right. I mean, we like belly to belly and chest to chest.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And if you can imagine what that feeling is like for a boy that had a crush on a girl that had a crush on him too, and he never had the opportunity to speak because we never had the same classes. We lived in different neighborhoods. Every time we got ready to either Big Adrian was there with her big giraffe neck, was hating, right? Or my boys was around, all awkward, like, you know what I'm saying, always messing stuff up or whatever. The moment was never right. And we finally got that moment in the middle of the dance floor. And as soon as we got in the middle of the dance floor, Philip Bailey started singing to us. Start singing After the Love Is Gone. Oh, after the love is gone. And the teachers was around the floor. You know the hating the teachers back then, they'd be like, they'd be coming around the floor like, you better not do nothing nasty. I'll put you in detention. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They was on the side of the floor, and they was cheering for us. Yeah, girl. They was cheering for her. Like, yeah, girl, you finally got your man. And yeah, and mom and the men teachers, like, they were standing by the DJ booth, right?
Mm-hmm.
By Mr. Williams. Every time I look over there, like, DSA, this is a different time, right? So every time I look over there at them, they be like, what the fuck you looking over here for? Boy, you better pay attention. Because I'm with a girl and I'm over there looking at them. They like, don't be looking at us, look at her. You know what I'm saying? And so we did our dance DSA, and something. It's the first time I felt this thing for real, called hormones. Like, man, hormones jumping like a disco. I didn't know if I wanted to squeeze her tighter, right? Or if I wanted to try to sneak in a kiss or slide my hand. I didn't know what to do, right? But something in my mind was just like, hey, don't mess this up. Just stay right here, right? If things, you know what I'm saying, something progress, it'll progress, you know what I'm saying? After, you know what I'm saying, we got time, basically.
Right. And
so the song is going up. You know how the song fade out? I look at Mr. Williams like, yo. And so, and try. So guess what he do?
Mm-hmm.
When the song fade out, guess what he do?
What you do?
Play it again.
He run it back. He play it again.
Right.
Back in the days, we used to call that putting a nickel on the needle. Put a nickel on the needle so the song stay in the, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But this time when he run it back, all my homeboys, you know what I'm saying, they done grabbed the girl they done had crushes on all year. And I see them walking out towards the floor. And I see my man Shantae. I'm like, yo, that's Shantae and Melissa. Yo, he finally got Melissa. I'm mad. Right? So I'm in this moment of on the verge of something, right? But remember, I don't know, maybe I might have been 12 in 6th grade, right? And so I'm learning, I'm feeling something. I'm learning about myself, learning something about myself, but I'm also learning something about girls, right? And so I look around, and then come to find out, my homeboy Will was like, Will looked better than everybody, and he dressed better than everybody. He was like the heartbreaker of the whole 6th grade, right? Because his pops had money, so it was like, you know, he was mixed. He was like something weird, like Jamaican and something mixed together, like Jamaican and Italian or something mixed together. Something, I don't know, something, right?
Right.
And so I look at Will. Will got a little cutie on the floor named Belinda. Belinda was like the cutie of our crew. She had a temperament like y'all remember the rapper Yo-Yo?
Yeah.
Remember her? So Belinda was kind of like that. So I see Will and Belinda walking on the floor, and she holding his hand, walking him out there. Right? So Will was the prize, right? And then I look over, and guess what I see?
What you see?
Guess what I see next to us?
Adrian.
Adrian and Donnell dancing together.
Wow.
Right? And Adrian got these stars in her eyes or whatever. Like she had this look like, yo, a boy like me. Right? And so I talked to Donnell after all of that, right? He was like, what it is she just she was mean like that because she had no confidence. You know what I'm saying? Like, right. But that's what we talked when we were adults, we talked about. But anyway, in that moment, I found out that you can have a crush and start a relationship and start on that path to something, and you ain't even got to speak a word. Sometimes it's just a vibe and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's legit. Like I didn't get a chance to talk to her. She didn't get a chance to talk to me. It's just something about Uncle Freezy that she liked, and it was definitely something about her that I liked. And so when he played that joint, we got on the floor, and that's the first time I really got that feeling of like, DSA, you know how like when you in 2nd grade and say you going to church or something, and people put you together like, oh, that's such a cute little couple, 2 little 7-year-olds. They make you or like an Easter speech or something. They make you stand with a girl you don't like. You like, I don't like her. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
But this thing right here, because of music and vibes and a bunch of things came together, because 2 people who really didn't get a chance to talk saw each other on sight and just had a crush on each other. Now, mind you, I had knew this girl since like 1st grade. But it's like, you know how girls will go away for the summer and then they come back to school. Like she went away for 5th grade. We used to talk. I was like, she was like, yeah, man, we be jumping rope over there, such and such. I need to come over there, man. There be boys over there. They be bothering us and stuff. And she talking to me. I'm like, man, I ain't no Fulton Strang going down there. Man, I had to fight my way back. This is what I'm thinking, like, as into the 5th grade year. But what she was telling me then is that she liked me, but me being a 5th grade boy, man, I ain't them dudes be wearing Pumas and shit, man. I ain't. You know what I'm saying? Look, you're thinking like a 5th grader, right? And so after that, you know what I'm saying, I found out that you can legitimately like somebody and want to be with them on site without even talking to them, having background or nothing. So that's my story, man. Mr. Williams probably somewhere now, man, I hope he's still. I ain't talked to Mr. Williams in like 20 years, right? But he reminded me of the story. Everybody, this is a true story. He reminded me of the story on Facebook. He told a story on Facebook. This was, when did Facebook come out? When you remember when you could, y'all remember when you could post like super long posts on Facebook? Remember when you could damn near write a book on Facebook? Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Remember when you could damn near write a book on Twitter? Remember when Twitter first came out? You could damn near write a whole book on there. Back when Russell Simmons used to be on Twitter all the time.
Yep.
Yeah. So back then he told the story. He's like, man, this little snotty nose redhead kid. I was like, man, I ain't never had no snotty nose. You crazy. But anyway, he told the story on Facebook. But that's my little joint. I'm gonna end that part right there. DSA. That's where the beginning of the easing into what relationships and stuff could be like for me. That's my beginning. Now, since then, I done messed up a whole bunch of stuff a lot of times. But you know, if you want to speak to, if we're just solely speaking to love, yeah, and love, and how you recognize it, and you know, recognize what it is, and recognize. See, the thing Charborough said that makes sense to me is two things. What is a harder burden to bear? What is a harder burden to bear? Having love and lost it, or never being loved by the person that you want to love. Like they never have a feeling for you at all. Right. And you're just out that way. Like it's something about that person that captivates, that has your heart, but you can't have them for some reason.
Yeah.
I think losing it is probably harder because of the experience, the shared moments. Because yeah, you can always like think about the person that you've had an affinity for that doesn't really share the same feelings or isn't aware of your feelings.
Yeah.
You can always find a way to settle or to come to the conclusion of, you know, we'll never be.
Okay.
Or if it's meant to be, it'll happen maybe sometime down the line.
Okay.
But to experience it, to have those moments, to basically grow together, and then to watch it wither in some capacity is probably harder.
Wow. So Triborough, how do you cope with that?
How do you cope with the loss?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Heavy drinking. No, I'm kidding.
No. I think it's the way that it ends. Is depends on how it ended. You know, if it ended badly, then you know it's you know, you start blaming yourself for what you could have did differently. You know, and you know, you gotta just talk to. I would talk to somebody, you know, like a close friend or a family member. I don't know. Like I went through. I went through that like last year, and DJ know what I'm talking about. Like, meeting somebody out of the blue, and then y'all connect,
right?
And things are good for like weeks and months, and then you know y'all start having arguments and disagreements, and you know you start feeling some type of way, and you start saying things that you just you really don't mean, but you say it in the moment, you know, and you know you might end up regretting what you say about that person, but when you start reflecting on what happened, you start missing them, and you want to correct or make things right with that person, and you reach out. Sometimes it might work, sometimes it might not. But I think like at least you tried,
At least you
you
try.
know, and it's so I just feel like yeah, it's just it's depending on how things ended, it's like, oh, you like, damn, like, why did I say so and so? Why did I do this? But maybe when if y'all do reconnect, you learn from that mistake the first time, and try to do things differently the second time, and realize that I really hurt this person, and I want to make things right.
Man, second time around, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you get that.
Yes, if you get that, right. And if you get that, if you're lucky enough to get a second chance, you got to do things differently, like completely different from the first time. And you gotta gain her trust back, and show her that really wasn't you. Like, you was just in the moment, you was angry, you was frustrated, and you gotta show her that you're a completely different person.
Right.
I gotta ask though, is there ever a time where I guess the reconciliation can be successful? Because I consider, like, okay, like for me again, and I definitely get what Uncle Freezy says about life and music correlating, right? So for me, a song like "When a Woman's Fed Up" comes on and makes me think of situations like that. And it's a part in the song at the end where he's like, "You could cry a river till the ocean starts to form, but she'll never forget because she's a woman scorned."
Yep.
Right. So I'm thinking about, okay, well, in a situation where there's disagreements, there's arguments, it doesn't necessarily have to be like infidelity or anything like that, but maybe just the match is bad, but you miss the potential of what could be, right? And you get back together. Do the old feelings linger from the past failures? And how do you either A, cope with it or overcome it?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, there's I'm gonna pause this right here. But there are multiple ways, man, you can look at it. I'm sorry about that, y'all. My internet is bizarre right now. I'm not for sure what it is. But I think there are multiple ways. Love is complex. Like when Triborough was saying what he was saying, bro, that was kind of like a gem. Like with Triborough was when he was saying that, bro. You know what the first thing that came into my mind when Triborough started, when he was giving his answer? We fight every night, and that's not kosher. I reminisce with Bliss before we was closer. And it led to an argument again. You act like a 10, so immature. That's what when Tri was saying that, I'm like, everything can be right, and it could be like this one thing that could throw everything off, like what her friends think of you. And they could just be in her ear.
Yeah.
And then the next thing you know, we fight every night, and that's not kosher. You know what I'm saying? You get into that. And for everybody, for people that don't know where it's from, that's a song called Looking at the Front Door by Main Source.
Yeah.
Right. And Sean Price quoted that in a song off an album called Magnum Force. He said, we fight every night, and that's not kosher. I reminisce with Bliss when we were before Eshkoshka is the word he put, the term he used for those that appreciate hip hop. And so when you mention that, it's like love can be such a delicate thing, like all these factors outside of the relationship itself can have a heavy impact on it, on the love that you have for somebody. Like for me and that girl, the one I told you I danced with at the spring social, it was her pops. Her pops just didn't like me. And I know why. They had nothing to do with me. It just had everything to do with him protecting his daughter. But when you're young and you don't have a daughter, you don't know that. You just think he ill. Like, I'm gonna sneak in his window. No, man, relax, bro. Relax. Calm down. But when you 11, you don't know that, like, these things. And that wasn't even really love. That was probably more of an infatuation to kids trying to figure something out. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I appreciate you sharing that, bro.
Yeah, I'm currently going through that now. So it's like the old feelings come back when you talk to somebody you didn't speak to in like a couple months, and then she's gonna feel some type of way because of what you did or what you said. But like I think you just gotta show them that that was a moment that you was angry and you was emotional, but you really didn't mean what you said at that time about them. It's just that everything came out the wrong way, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah. No, I agree. Yes, you want to add something to
that? Yeah, as far as I always say, the representative, right? Your personal representative, what I'm saying, your mouthpiece. I think sometimes the partner has to be mature enough to be willing to understand that that's just not who you really are. That's not the representative. You know what I mean? Moments of anger. Yeah, they always say moments of anger can lead to some truth, but I also feel like moments of anger can lead to poking at insecurities.
Yeah.
Where okay, like I don't mean what I'm saying, but I know it gets under your skin, and because you got under mine, I have to retaliate and get under yours.
Right. Yeah. And see, and the part to that, what I've learned is this. In a relationship, you have to, at times, let the other person win at times. And at the same time, you also have to offer them an out. If there is a way to squash it, don't say, I'm going to just squash it, because that means you're taking control of the situation, right? What you could say is, hey, you know what? I'll think about what you said, and I just need some more time to think about what it is. I didn't realize that, right? Just give me a moment. Just, what I'm saying? Stop yelling it. Just give me some time to think about what you're saying, right? Let me process this thing, right? And it sounds soft in the moment, right? But it's really like, if you really value this situation, are you just going to throw it away because you're tough? Or are you going to keep it? Are you going to try to do what you can to keep this thing going? Sometimes you have to let the other person win in a relationship, right? The person in the relationship don't want to lose everything all the time. Have it be your way all the time, right? Because either they're going to rebel or they're going to cheat, right? That's just
oh no, we lost Uncle Freezy to the Matrix.
Oh man, it's my fault.
Agent Smith got him. Don't be surprised he comes on. Hello, Mr. Anderson. No, but I do feel what Uncle's saying, and at the end of the day, a lot of times, again, like I said, I think it just boils down to the maturity aspect, because, again, as far as knowing when to channel conversations I think sometimes even the outside sources can leak in because of these moments where, you know what I'm saying, let's say, okay, if a female that you encounter, whether it's through job or any social outing, right? And you vent to this person, you know, you never know if this person's feeling you in a romantic way as well. But you know how that goes. You know, you vent to them because you know you need an ear. They try to be, you know what I'm saying? They say like you're the, you know, I'm your support system, but then they'll turn around and be like, well, you know, I would never, you know, do you like that. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like they'll find ways to finesse themselves into the situation and making
I
it
missed that.
even
Who's
more
finessing
difficult.
themselves in? I'm sorry. Who finessing themselves in?
Oh yeah, I was saying as far as what you were talking about with you know, with disagreements and how to cope with it and understand it. And I was saying as far as sometimes it's hard to navigate because there are outside influences. And I was saying like let's say there's another female that you know, consider a friend or, you know what I'm saying, a support system, whether it's through your occupation, maybe y'all coworkers, maybe it's just a social setting, church, or you know
Yeah.
any other outing of social design.
Right.
And y'all, you know what I'm saying, get together, and because you know you feel like you're friends, and she maybe, you know what I'm saying, it's the opposite sex, or maybe they can understand the other side of it. You just vent, and as opposed to, you know, getting the support system that you thought you were getting, maybe they use that as an ulterior motive to finesse themselves into the situation. Well, you know, I would never do you like that.
Right. Yeah.
And that's where I was at in the conversation, um, in terms of that. Because I mean it happens. You know what I'm saying? Women can manipulate themselves just like guys can. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I would never do you like that. Oh homie was tripping.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying that against you know, men and women dirty Mac.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
sometimes that can influence how the relationship goes as well, whether it's through, you know what I'm saying, um initial problems or a reconciliation. Um so it's just it's a difficult thing to navigate. And sometimes it's like you can't see the forest for the trees because you're in the moment.
Hey man,
So
being in the moment is good. Being in the moment is great, bro. It's just hard to stay in that moment, bro.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, try. I'll tell you. I'm gonna tell. Yo, so my homeboy, Will, the one I told you looked like so my homeboy Will looks like the oh thank you, the dressed up elite version of special ed. Say if special ed was a supermodel, that's Will, right? And he just born with that, right? It ain't so he just born with that. I'll give him his credit. Still to this day, he moved like Philip Michael Thomas to this day, right? And so we was at the record store. We was at a record store on Journal Square, and we see this girl, and she is, man. By this time, our homeboy Shantae had moved away somewhere, right? I had graduated from high school and came back up to the city for the summer, and I met up with Will, right? And so we were walking, right? And so we at Journal Square, we see this girl, and she walked past me and these dudes, like we some random dudes. I don't know where these dudes from. They probably from like Randolph or somewhere, married somewhere. They probably, I know they ain't from Ocean. They probably they might be from Duncan Projects or Communipol or somewhere. I don't know, right? So I'm standing there, they standing there, like looking on whatever they doing, and she walked through the whole crew, right, and know nothing. I'm like, she just walked by Uncle Freezy. I'm like, yo, wait, I'm looking for like where your walking stick at? Where your blind person thing at? Because clearly you walking by me. And so anyway, so she over there digging in the crates, right? She in there digging in the crates. And so she in this jazz section or whatever. And Will walks over to her. And he just standing there beside her. She was like, hey, you mighty close. You work here? He's like, nah, I don't work here, but I'll work for your attention. He just say something random, right? It just dude just smooth with it. So she started laughing, giggling. I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah, he got the magic touch. Like, try. You ever seen dudes with the magic touch, bro?
Yeah.
Like, mama, I'm like, DSJ, he just smooth. Like, he just R&B lyrics all the time with the ladies, bro. That's him. He just R&B lyrics with the ladies. Every time he get around the ladies, he legitimately will spit a New Edition verse to them. And I'm not saying a real New Edition verse. I'm talking about like when he talked, he sounds like a Babyface album to the ladies, right?
He sound like he was saying lyrics.
Yes,
that's like him. Anthony D.
Yeah, he just smooth with it, right? He just smooth with it, right? Bro, don't you know? So he picks her up. It's a lady. Well, I'm gonna say her name. Y'all gonna swear I made this name up, but her name is Lola, right? So he just picks up Lola on the spot. Yo, you know he still kick it with Lola to this day. To this day, they still friends. He pick up at the record store. Like, this is stuff you legitimately can't just. This is stuff you can't make up. Like when it come to, and the reason why I just say that, the reason why I say that, ladies, if y'all watching, so ladies, if y'all watching, the hardest thing for most men to do is see a pretty lady and stop what they doing and just go holler. Right? What men will do, boys will do, you'll see them all the time. What we'll do is if somebody fine, dudes will be in a pack and they'll talk about how fine she is, and then she'll mess around and leave. And then we'll talk about, man, if I didn't have these ponies on, if I didn't have my Pumas on, I would have went over there to holler at her. I know most people don't even know what ponies are, but ponies were sneakers from back in the day. Yeah. Dudes would be like, man, if I didn't have these ponies on, man, if I didn't had my suede Pumas on, I would have went over there and scooped her up. She'd have been cooking me grits tonight. This is how we talk amongst ourselves and not around the ladies, right? But my guy Will is so solid with the game. He just like he'll see a woman off rip and be like, "Hey man, hey, what y'all doing later?" Like, what you mean? What we doing later? I don't know. We gonna be on the stoop later, probably. He like, "Hey man, I'm gonna go scoop her up, man, and I'll holler at y'all later. I'll meet y'all over there." And my guy is so confident. He's so confident and smooth. He just told us, "I'm gonna go scoop her up, right? And then I'm gonna come back to the stoop later on." And so DSJ, we on the stoop, right? We on the stoop. He walking down. We see him walking down towards us because we was on a street called Carteret. So we see him walking down the hill with Lola. Some dudes just be smooth with it. Now, here's the thing, DSJ. Here's the thing. Men don't necessarily speak well to women. They don't have like that mechanism that's smooth, like can talk, can relate, you know what I'm saying, to women. And women know it from the rip. So when they get in a relationship, if they expect something different, they bugging. Right? Think about if you're a woman, the first time a dude saw you and he stepped to you and he was bumbling with his words or whatever, that's him. That's who he is. Right? Not saying that he dumb, or not saying that he don't know what to say, or you know what? Let me rephrase that. Not that he doesn't know what he wants to say. It's just saying it to a woman can be.
It could be daunting.
Yeah, even when you in a relationship, you don't know what to say, when to say it. You know what I'm saying? Like when dudes talk, we let it fly. Oh, hey man, you crazy. But when you talking to your lady, you can't really even, you know what I'm saying? You got to be respectful and respect her as a person and understand that the way you talk to your boys is not the way, you know, you always talk to your lady because they're gonna feel disrespected. Your boys ain't gonna care. They don't care. They don't even probably that I probably been called a certain word. I probably been called that word that we try not to say. I probably been called that word 1,000,000 times, right? And I probably only remember being called that twice. You know what I'm saying? It's your boys, but when men pick up the ladies, is picking up a woman is difficult, basically.
Yeah, and it's funny because you saying that makes me think about Music Soul Child's Half Crazy, and the line that he says is, "You take things personal now." Now I gotta watch what I say because you take things personal nowadays.
Wow. Bars? Bars.
Hey, listen, and maybe Will just maybe Will was kind of in my head because it's like it made sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, shout out to my homeboy Will Redden. That's my man. We kind of grew up together in Jersey City. I might clip
Shout
this
out to Will.
I might clip this and send it to him, but his ego already crazy, bro. He don't need yo, you talk about my game on the internet, bro? You know what I'm saying? No, never mind. I am not gonna send this to Will, y'all. Scratch that from the record. So
And shout out to King Ribby who's in the building. Shout out to Esco.
Ribs.
Shout out to Corey Lee. What's going on, y'all?
Let me ask y'all. I have 3 very difficult questions to ask y'all. Not difficult for me to ask, but I think it's going to cause for some thinking or whatever. So I'm going to ask y'all first. My first question is this: have you ever been in a place where you're
I ain't hear the question.
you don't know who that person is, but your heart is yearning for like that special person? You ever been in that situation?
Oh, repeat the question.
Yeah, I didn't. You blacked out. I didn't hear the question.
Oh, my bad. Have y'all ever been in a place? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Have y'all ever been in a place where you're not with someone, but your heart is yearning to be with someone, to fall in love with somebody? You don't know who that person is. All you know is that every day that you get up, wake up, eat, sleep, work out, all of that stuff, your heart is yearning for that special someone. Have you ever been in that situation?
I think you always like if you are single and you like by yourself, I don't think nobody wants to be alone naturally. They want to be with like the love of their life and enjoy, every day with them. So I think like naturally that's just a natural thing, like being human. You want that attachment to somebody and somebody that, you can see yourself living your golden years with and at least for me, that's how I feel. So but I don't think I think a lot of people settle for anything because they don't want to be alone. So they just settle for someone knowing that, maybe this person's not the right one for them. And I think that's bad too. I don't think anybody should settle for somebody just for the sake of not being alone. But I think naturally you're gonna have that feeling like, you want to be loved by somebody, you want to be able to love them back. And no matter how long it takes,
Right. Wow. Okay. What do you think, DSJ?
Okay, so story time, right? So there's a female that I that I knew since sixth grade, and I'm name dropping for real. Her name is Delicia Olavo. Um, she was absolutely gorgeous, and I didn't know anything about her personality. I didn't know anything about her mentally. Because one thing about me, I can't stand a female with no intelligence or ignorant to ignorant to the point where you can't have a intelligent conversation. But there was something about Delicia outside of just her beauty, like her aura, her energy, something that I can read off of her that made me want to get with her, like no matter what the circumstances were. And so the soundtrack to my feelings for her were Come and Talk to Me and Quit Breaking My Heart. Pretty Brown Eyes. Because it's like around her friends, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, I wouldn't talk to him. But then it's like the moments alone, it's like there's a different energy, there's a different vibe and stuff. So when we get around each other, it's like she's a little bit more nervous, and like the confidence she has around her homegirls is different than it is around me in a one-on-one setting. And me, I'm such a bumbling idiot with the words, like like I don't know what to say. You know what I'm saying? I just look at her with this goofy longing and hoping that she understands that my looking at her like that speaks more volumes than I possibly ever could.
Right.
But the truth of the matter is, I really don't know what to say. And had I discovered my ability to sing then, I probably would have sung those songs to her to express how I felt.
Right. You would have sung the songs to her?
Oh yeah, I definitely would have sang the songs to her.
Hey, Triborough,
Yeah.
am I missing something?
What you mean?
Why is DSJ singing to her?
I mean, I think because that's showing the woman that how much that he wanted her, how much he cared about her, that he'd be willing to sing to her. Sometimes you gotta get out of your comfort zone and show somebody how much you care about them by doing something that they probably don't expect for you to do.
Romantic gestures go a long way.
Yeah.
Right.
Flowers and candy, handwritten poems,
Mhm.
singing, taking them out. That's the type of stuff that show an affinity for that person. So for me, the romantic gesture, of course, of singing, to let them know how I felt would have been, what I'm saying, my way to go. That would have been my approach.
Really?
Could be worse though. I mean, I could have sounded like an albatross.
Oh wow. So how did that make you feel though?
I want to say dejected yet determined. Like, you failed, but tomorrow's another day. Maybe I'll get another crack at it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And overall, it just was one of those things where it's like, um, again, you try to find, you really try to find the words to say, like, how you feel. Then it's all the things that's in your head. Will this person accept what I'm saying? Will it be a rejection? Will it be public rejection? Um, can you ever shut off the feeling once you've already established it? Can you move on? Will other people hold you accountable for the fact that you expressed your feelings? So now it's like any other female that sees this, oh, you wasn't saying that about me like you were saying about her. You know what I'm saying? Like it's the comparisons and the contrasts. And so now it's like you just all in your head because no matter what, like you've already taken that chance. But do they hold you to that standard if you don't express yourself that same way? Then of course it's the other side of it where it's like you're a man, so do you deal with the dejection or the rejection um individually or publicly? Will they ever let you forget? Because you know how guys can be, you know what I'm saying? Like they're unrelenting at times.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, hey, salute to Fritz Alcindor. Was good. The reason why I ask is because there are so many levels to this love business,
Mhm.
right? There's the crush part. There's the infatuation part. That's the very beginning. The infatuation is like, yo, she is a little cutie. Come here, girl. You know what I'm saying? That part. There's the romance part. The part that DSJ skipped from infatuation to romance. I was like, yo, he really was digging her, and she was probably digging him too. And so he chose to get romantic in there. That's why I did, like the fast forward part. I was like, yo, they were moving fast, or he left something out of the story. I'm gonna assume that they were very infatuated with each other, right? But the perception of them two being together is kind of like those, you know how the outside influences may impact something that it shouldn't?
Right.
Yeah, DSJ got romantic really fast. I don't know. And so I guess as a DSJ, let me ask you this just to catch me up.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. How important is romance at the beginning and throughout a relationship?
I think it's the catalyst to what becomes of your one-on-one relationship with a female
Okay.
because you can interpret it as friendship as
Okay.
opposed to romantic feelings, infatuation, and affinity for that person on a intimate level.
Right.
You play too nice, too coy, then she just sees you as the best friend, or he's like my brother,
Right.
and you don't want to be in a friendship zone if you like this person. Like, nah, I'm trying to date you. Not trying to give you away at your wedding.
Right. Right.
So
Okay. See, now we cooking. Okay. Now we cooking. I feel you.
so I think it's a matter of, I'm trying to make sure that my stance is absolutely clear. No, I want to be with you in an intimate setting.
Right.
And
Right.
yeah, so I think, again, like I said, the grand gestures mean a lot.
Okay.
I think you gotta let them know too. You gotta let them know how much you really like them. Because a closed mouth don't get fed. You gotta really let them know, like, call them beautiful every day. You know, if it comes to like social media, like their pictures, let them know that that she's awesome and she's like the only woman that you can see yourself with. And I think they got to know that you feeling them, so that they could proceed from there if they choose to go that route with you, or they just friend zone you. That's on her, but at least she know where you're coming from when it comes to your feelings for her.
Wow. Wow. Fritz Alcindor says, I do the friend zone thing all the oh. He says, I've done the friend zone thing, my fault most of the time. Okay. Yeah, I was about to say I do the friend zone thing all the time. I was about to say, Fritz, what's the point?
I mean, but do they just see you as just a friend where they can hit you up and confide in all the time, or is it just you might not be their type, or you know what I'm saying? So like I said, you gotta let them know how you feel about her, so that she at least she know if she's single, or one day if she wants to be in a new relationship, like, oh, I might hit up Fritz and go on a date with him, or Uncle Freezy, and see what he's about. You got to let them know, because if you don't, and if you keep your feelings in and never tell them, they never gonna know, and then they're gonna be off with the next person, because he took the initiative to step to them and be like, yo, like, I'm feeling you, what's up.
Yeah, you got to be yeah, I agree with you. I think the relationship thing is so layered. There's so many nuances that at times, if you don't recognize where you are, like if the man and woman are on different squares, then you're gonna have like those moments. Like, I'm not gonna say which one of my sons is this, right? And I probably shouldn't, but there are times when y'all are like on different paths. Like the lady is feeling like, and son, if you see this, hey man, it's life, um like the lady is feeling like, yo, I'm in the gym, I'm getting myself right, because what I'm saying, when he proposed, I want to make sure that everything is right, and on my wedding day, what I'm saying, I want to be the most beautiful bride ever. Meanwhile, the man is on a different square, like, man, such and such and them getting on the game at 7 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? I kind of make sure, yo, he trying to get on the PlayStation. You know what I'm saying? He ain't thinking about no, he don't even like suits. You talking about getting wedding, and my mans don't even like to wear suits. Like, there's like a legit disconnect. Like, like, she might be thinking about, like, oh, the reason why he taking his time is because he getting ready for the perfect proposal. And the man might be thinking, like, I'm just trying to keep my head above water. Right? You know how like people be in that different mental space, and the woman puts in all the work to be a wife, and the man is just thinking about stuff on the job. Like, man, my machine keep breaking down, man, and such and such and such, man, and the boss man on my back, and they trying to take me to HR because my production ain't, you know what I'm saying? And so he thinking about one thing and she thinking about something else. And so they're in two totally different spaces. And so it caused that friction because one is pulling and the other one is anchoring in. Right? And so the one anchoring in is tired of getting pulled. Like, why you rushing me? Why you rushing me? And the one that's pulling is like,
What's
why
taking so long?
why this relationship ain't going nowhere. Right? The love is there. All the stuff is there. Like, you operate, all the stuff is there except for being on two separate squares. Try, you ever been in that situation?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this. It's always like that though. Like when women are gonna be on a different level thought process when it comes to love and relationships, and men are the opposite. You know, and again, I think this goes back to just finding the right person for you, and what's your how you feeling, and where you at in your life, where either you're gonna be serious or you're gonna play around. The people still want to be in the clubs, and they want to enjoy themselves without the responsibility, or having to answer to somebody. And I think that's what it's really about. Like, what your decision, like, what do you want? Do you want to settle down and be happy with one person, or you want to be out there playing the field?
Right.
And I think I think not for all women. I think women, the majority of them, know what they want, but it's like they might want too much, from a guy, and then guys, we don't want to hear that. Like, y'all want everything, the sun, moon, and stars, but it's like, we might be feeling like, well, can I give for that? And if you don't feel like you can, you might, want to step out and do your own thing.
Wow. Wow.
Another thing I think about too, it might be fear of missing out.
Right.
Let's say a man commits to another woman, and it's like, okay, we're locked in, and then you come to find out that Jasmine Sullivan is broken up with her boyfriend. She's on the market, and now here you are in a relationship. You stuck. How can I get to Jasmine and I'm with you already?
Right.
Because black men don't cheat.
I ain't even gonna front. I was in a relationship like that too, where we in a relationship, both of us know this thing ain't going nowhere, but we still together. Right. Man, DSJ, you remember the Janet Jackson story I told? Miss Mocha told me I can only tell that story twice a year, and I already met my quota for 2015, so I can't tell that story no more. Right.
Okay.
But the thing is, in that relationship, this girl I met, this lady I met, I guess I was maybe 22. She might have been like 20. She was just on the edge of starting to become serious about, how when you're young, you like 20, 21, 22, 23, and you ain't trying to settle down. No, you know what I'm saying? Nothing. But then you get to like 24, 25, and you start to think like how people view you and all that stuff. And so I'll never forget, we went to this thing called the Budweiser Superfest. I don't know if y'all remember that or not. Y'all remember those?
I used to go to those. I actually kept the concert stubs to the different shows I went to.
Bam! So you remember when they used to have them in the outside venue? The one I went to was in Dallas, Texas, right? And I think the hottest group at the time was this was 1992, I think. It was like 1992, and it was like R. Kelly, Aaliyah, Janet Jackson, Belle Biv DeVoe was there. They had a song called Above the Rim? I can't remember.
That was on the Hootie Mac album.
Yeah. So it's like 92, right? 92, 93-ish, something like that. I can't remember the year exactly. But me and this girl, she had got me. She was like, Uncle Freezy, look, I already know how you be having them girls be trying to fight over you, right? I ain't get ready to fight over you, right? I was like, look, and I was like, listen, if you want me to stop, because listen, I'm in the military. I got a little bit of money. DSJ know the vibe. DSJ know exactly the vibe I'm going to say. I'm in the military. I don't have nothing but like a little car payment that was like $87 a month. Car insurance is like $60 a month. I ain't have no bills. I was just living my best life because I lived in the barracks.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. So I lived in the barracks. So I ain't have no bill, no nothing. It was like payday come. I'm like looking for stuff to pay, like looking for something to spend money on. I mean, there's only so much kiwi you can buy. I mean, kiwi was what, 49 cents? You know what I'm saying? So
unless you get the big one, then it's like additional 40 cents.
Yeah, basically. basically. And so living my best life, right? So I'm like, listen, if you want me to stop with the ladies, you gonna have to take yourself off the market too. And she's like, take myself off the market? What if somebody better than Uncle Freezy come along? I'm like, shit, I ain't seen that motherfucker yet. This is in my mind. You know what I'm saying? You talking somebody better than Uncle Freezy? Who? You said anyway. So anyway, we operated as a couple and did everything as a couple, but we didn't do any of the romantic stuff, and we didn't do any of the like DSJ, like the flowers and candy and all that. I ain't do none of that.
Okay.
Right? Because she was a trophy to me. Because like every time she come around, dudes was like, yeah, I never forget. Levert had an album out that came out in like 90, 91, something like that. Yeah, you remember the album?
Yeah.
Levert
That was the album with Just Coolin'?
The one before the one before Good Old Days.
Was it For Real though?
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that album was on the radio at the same time as Written All Over Your Face, Rude Boys, and Lisa Stansfield, and all them. Like all them album songs was on the album. I mean, on the radio at the same time, right? And so every time I would bring her around, dudes would just like stop what they doing and just look at. They could not, bro. DSJ, hand to the man. Dudes legitimately was fumbling over their stuff every time she came around. She was so fine that dudes legit would buffer. Like they legit would like break down and she couldn't. She was that fine, right? And no, she wasn't mixed with nothing. She was just black, right? But she had like a sassy. She had like a MC Lyte type attitude. Y'all know how MC Lyte talk,
right?
That's how she speak and move, whatever. And so I take her to this thing, right? This girl that liked me. DSJ, just to tell you how crazy the times were. This girl that liked me wanted me to take her to this thing called the Budweiser Superfest, right? And I was like, wait a minute, you want me to drive you all the way to Dallas, Texas, and then drive all the way back the same day? And she was like, no, we don't have to. Well, you don't have to drive back the same day. We could just get somewhere to stay. This is her telling me, right? And so I'm like, I don't want to go to the. Why would I take a girl to the Budweiser Superfest that was going to be loaded with girls?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So come to find out, the woman that gave me the tickets, like a week before the Budweiser Superfest, not even a week, like that Monday, she like, yeah, I got the tickets. We're gonna go. I'm like, no, I don't want to go. She's like, no, we're gonna go. That Monday, she called me, right? She's like, hey, I can't go. They sending me to such and such. And I'm like, they sending you to such and such? How long you gonna be gone? They say 6 months. Right. That Wednesday, she put the tickets in my hand. I see her get on a deuce and a half, and I don't ever see that lady again. Right. DSA know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about the deuce and a half, all this stuff, whatever.
Oh yeah.
So I never see this woman again, right? It's because of circumstance, right? Because by the time she got back, I was gone, right? So I got the tickets. They just sitting in the thing. And so my girl, quotation marks, comes in. She like, hey, what you doing this weekend? Shit, man, I ain't doing nothing. Probably go, you know what I'm saying? Go to City Lights, man. You know, Friday night, man, might go get some fish or something. You down? You want to go? She was like, what's that over there? I was like, that's the tickets that girl left, man. She wanted me to go to the Budweiser Superfest with her or whatever. She was like, the Budweiser Superfest? And you ain't going?
Right.
Nah,
Yeah, it's super in.
I'm not taking a girl, a female, to a place that's going to have 10,000 women. why? You know what I'm saying? I was thinking about taking one of the homies, right? Like me and Brown or me and somebody will go. You know what I'm saying? And so she like, nah, hey, we gonna leave Friday morning, and somehow we had a 4-day weekend or whatever, and that's a part of love. So somehow we had like a 4-day weekend, right? And she was like, nah, we gonna go up there Friday. We're gonna spend the day up there. Saturday night for the concert. We're gonna go. We're gonna stay Sunday, and we're gonna come back Monday morning. I was like, is you crazy? Now, mind you, she is like in the words like my pops them used to say. This lady, the one that told you that we gonna spend the 4-day weekend together,
Yeah.
my girlfriend in quotation marks, she is what the old timers used to call bad, like legit, bro, bad. Like nothing else need to come after that. Like, bim, right? So we go. We have a great day Friday, right? Saturday morning, we have a great time. We go visit some stuff in Dallas. We all over Dallas, whatever. Have a great time. The afternoon, the sky bus open. Rain. I mean, I'm talking about. It was like I thought I was gonna have to build an ark. That's how hard it was raining, right?
Eddie Kane told you nights like this.
Yeah, yes. It broke the sky bus open, but at about. So wait a minute. So the sky bus opened about 10 o'clock. It rained till about 1 o'clock. About 1 o'clock, it stopped raining. About 3 o'clock, the sun come out and start baking us like we in an oven, bro. I mean, it's so much, bro. It's crazy. And so we thought they was going to cancel the concert. Come to find out, the place where the field is at to do the thing, the event area, it was raining over there, but it wasn't pouring like it was in the city, right? So we go and we see all these warm-up bands. They out there, like the warm-up bands, they out there talking about like Pretty Brown Eyes and here we go. I'm like, man, y'all get off the stage, bro. I want to see some real, you know what I'm saying, people. I ain't want to see no fake artists, bro. I ain't want to, you know what I'm saying? When you got there, you out here talking about stuff like, you keep telling me your time is always, I ain't want to hear that, bro. I want to get to the nitty-gritty. Right. And so we are out there. And at the time, I figured I was like big and strong. Right. So this new jive artist is out there. Right. Named R. Kelly. We had just heard his first song, this song called Vibe, which is probably my favorite R. Kelly song. It's the first song I heard by R. Kelly. So it's probably my favorite, whatever. And so we out there, he like doing Vibe, man. And then he just keep doing songs. And then he bring out this little girl, look like she 9 years old. Her name Aaliyah. People rushing the stage. I got to put my girl on my neck. We walking towards the stage and all this stuff for R. Kelly and whatever. And so finally, Janet Jackson people start inching towards the stage, trying to push him off because I think he was supposed to be there for like 25 minutes and he was like there for like an hour. And so just on stage, yeah, man, all this love, man. I got these new art, all this stuff. And finally, so what happened is a fight broke out, right? The girl on my neck, I put her down. She holding my hand, all these bodies bumping into us, all this stuff. And somehow we get smudged up against this black rail, Try, you know, the black rail that they have for the artists to walk in between to keep it separate from the. So we wedged up against this thing, and I bump a dude, and I look, and this, I swear to God, DSJ, I bump a dude, and I turn around, and I promise you, I was looking into this man's chest.
Shaquille?
Huh?
Shaquille?
Maybe no, he was taller than Shaq, bro. This dude had to be. I take that back. Probably. I back up, I crane up and look. And he like, easy, big fella, easy. Like put his hand on my chest. I'm like, swipe, hey, don't be touch me, bro. You know what I'm saying? But then I see behind him is Janet Jackson. Janet Jackson, Triborough, Janet Jackson is probably, if you in your room right now, DSA, if you in your room right now, Janet was probably from about you to the end of your chair.
Wow.
From me, but it was like she had a bodyguard and that steel black gate. You know what I'm talking
Right.
about? In between us,
Right.
it's drizzling rain. Janet got on like this. She got on this poetic justice type outfit.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And so my girl is with me, and she is like, R. Kelly down there. And the girl I was with, she took off and went down there to see R. Kelly. Here I am about 4 feet from Janet Jackson. Maybe not even 4 feet, maybe like 3 feet from Janet Jackson. Yeah, maybe 4 feet, maybe 5 feet, something like that. But we was close enough for us to have a conversation. Right. So I was like, hey, Janet, I got what you're looking for. Right. And so she turned around and she looked me like, yo, they gave me the DSA, gave me the what am I looking for look. Right. And I'm like, it's
right.
me, the man of your dreams. You've been looking for him your whole life. Here I am. What? Right. She smirked, bro. Smirked, no lie. And I'll never forget, bro. I don't know how I don't know where this came from, but I was like, I ain't mean to be disrespectful, Janet. It's Miss Jackson if you nasty. And she laughed, bro, came and patted me on my shoulder and walked behind her bodyguard, bro.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Nah, bro. How that's dope, bro?
It's dope because at least she didn't kick you out of the arena. You got a nice little smirk from her.
Yeah, she probably looking for me. She probably looking for me right now. I'm married, bro. Me and Mo ain't going nowhere. Yeah, me and Mo ain't going nowhere. Me and Mo for life. You know what I'm saying? So, but DSJ, the reason why I said all of that is because the romance part that you mentioned, I was in a relationship with a girl and we wasn't even like, you know what I'm saying? Like no romance at all, no future at all, right? And so, I mean, as a matter of fact, it was like no hugging, no caressing. It was like when it came time to bump uglies, I'm like, hey, you ready to bump uglies? She like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like no real, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so that's not a girl, that's a buddy.
Right.
It's a friend with benefits.
Maybe. Probably.
If someone came up to you right now, that'd be like, yeah, that's the homie. As opposed to that's my girl.
But how do you describe that when she made me not date nobody, especially not talk to no women in front of her? And I was like, yo, the first time I see you talking to a dude, I'm back out. You know what I'm saying? Like the first time I see you talking to a dude, I ain't mad. It's just letting me know that that somebody left the gate open for the dog. You know what I'm saying? Not that I'm a dog. Not that I'm a dog. Nah, I'm not. I ain't never been that. But y'all get when I'm
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
I'm talking about freedom. Yeah. So yeah,
man. Because we got egos. We still want to be available. We just don't want to be disrespected.
Right. And at the same time, I think women don't understand how difficult it is for a man to summon up the courage to speak to a beautiful woman, right? So, and that's why when I tell the Janet Jackson story, I don't tell it bragging like that. I'm saying I tell that Janet Jackson story to let people know when opportunity be there and you feeling something, you just got to at least go for it, man. Because at the end of the day, a random man spoke to a beautiful woman. She shut him down and he didn't feel any type of way about it. Just kept on with his life. Right. And I think sometimes men feel when they see a beautiful woman, they can't say anything to him because if she turns him down, that'll be the end of something. Like it'll crush his ego. But why? Is what I'm saying. Because before that woman, you were fine. You saw her, got into a thing, like into a mode, And if you leave without that woman, you didn't go there with that woman. You feel me?
Right.
It's like DSJ and Lotto. Like when DSJ holler at Lotto and she be like, nah, I'm good. DSJ, he's still straight.
Right.
I don't know. That's might hurt my ego a little bit, you know. Might deflate me a little bit.
I don't see how, bro. Does that make you lesser of a person that somebody said no?
Nah, but you know, I mean, you know, you don't like to strike out either. So, I mean, it's life. It's life. It happens.
Strike out? That's a strikeout, bro.
Well, if you're rejected, yeah, it's a strikeout.
Okay.
If they sit there and say, okay, circumstantial situations like, you know what I'm saying, I got a band or something like that. She ain't say no. She said she's not available. You can excuse that. If she's just like, I'm not interested at all. No. Oh.
So, Deirdre, you telling me you and A. Marie perform at the same show backstage? You're like, hey, what you doing later? Let me go buy you a coffee or something. She's like, nah, I'm good. You devastated?
Nah.
Okay.
Nah.
That's what I'm saying.
Not devastated. You know, a little bruised. You know, but you know, again, if you're a boxer, you're gonna have to take one on the chin.
Right.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, and trust me, I have these conversations over the years. I had these conversations a lot with dudes. Be like, man, nah, man, that broad stuck up, bro. You're like, you ain't even said nothing to her. Look how she be looking, man. She look like she just nosing it, bro. She confident, bro. You want a dejected, low esteem chick? Is that what you want?
Man.
Yeah, like she a baddie and she know it. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Is that not what you now? I'm not gonna front. A lot of dudes don't like that. They don't like confident women because they're not confident, or they just like to be in relationships that they can dominate.
Yeah, I think there's a level of insecurity that leads to a certain level of control that they need.
That's what Janet told me. Control. Never gonna stop. Yeah. My homeboy, I ain't gonna lie. I had one of my okay. So it's weird. So two of my homeboys in the military was right there, and the other one was facing the other way, and he keep lying for years, talking about he was there. So it was like me, that girl I told y'all about, two of my homeboys, and one of the homies. He our homie now. I mean, he our homie. That's my brother. I'll give an organ to him if he needed one, right? He said he was there. When I looked over there, he was about 10 feet away from us. And he said he heard the whole thing, but over the years, he kept telling the DSJ, man, I looked over there, man. That big bodyguard had Freezy in the headlock, and he over there trying to reach his like, you know how your homie be telling the story all backwards, just to laugh. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, me in the headlock. Come on, dog. Really? So every time he tells a story, and things get, you know what I'm saying, about it. I think one year he was like, yeah, man, we was in San Antonio, man. It was snowing. It was a blizzard. You know what I'm saying? I was like, come on, dog. Every time you tell a story, you add more and more to it. But the reason why I say that is because I think as men, we kind of protect ourselves from what people are going to say about us if we get turned down, kind of like alluding to what DSJ said a little while ago, right? Like, what if she say no in front of all these people? Like, what these people over here going to say, right? And so with me, I'm in the mindset, and Triborough noticed, Triborough and DSJ probably have known me longer than a lot of people in this space With me, I do not care what people think about me at all.
Right.
Period. Right? Because the older you get, the more you realize that the real ones are gonna be there for you regardless what the outcomes will be like. They know when to pick you up when you down. They know when to show empathy, and they know when to put the foot in your ass when you're feeling sorry for yourself.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? They know, and they would risk a friendship over well-being. Right? The real ones would legit be like, yo, I would rather not be your friend for a very long time if it means getting you right and having you be straight. Some people can't deal with that. Some people would rather have their friends lie to them. Nah, bro, you good, bro. Your gas tanks, your gas light on, bro, you can get about 200 more miles out of this. Right? They'd rather say that than to say, hey, nah, dog, you need to go get some gas right away. Some friends are just like that. I'm not like that, right? Like DSJ has been around me when I've told people the absolute truth to their face, and they don't like it, and they don't like the way I said it, but they respect the fact that I'm being honest, right? And
Right.
so the thing about that, DSJ, is like when you say strike out, I understand that people are like that, but I'm like, bro, the upside is crazy though. Right, you would like would I risk not living my best life? Would I risk not having my best life versus, a moment of staying in my comfort zone? And I would say no. Comfort zones are there for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Comfort zones are something for you to go back to. It's not a place for you to live.
Right.
Try that make sense?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, because it comes down to now it becomes a matter of fear of missing out over fear of rejection.
Right.
Yeah. Bro, you know what? if anybody knows the story of Seal and Heidi Klum, y'all remember when they got married?
Yeah.
When I was like, what the fuck? I was like, how the heck did that, bro? I'm like, yo, what in the world? Hey man, he must have that Bill Cosby game or something, bro. I don't know. I don't know, bro. Something. You feel me? But we see it all the time. Basically, the one person took a chance and everybody around thought it would never happen. But guess what?
Yeah.
It happened. That's why when I hear like, yo, A. Marie keep cutting high at DSJ, and DSJ just scared to go holler at her, I'm like, come on. And then when DSJ go over there and she be like, no, and DSJ be like, oh man, my life is ruined. I'm going to go jump off the Verrazano Bridge. Relax, bro. Calm down.
Man.
She might have been doing this thing called playing hard to get.
Yep.
And if you go jump off the Verrazano Bridge, she can be like, dang, he's overcut. That dude got wet because I said no to coffee. It's a good thing I didn't take that invite to the coffee. That's the way I see it.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, listen. The sad reality is women do play these games. They want to test you, how interested are you? They want to know what you're willing to do to get their attention and keep their attention. And you just got to be willing to play that game.
Yeah, like Fred and Donna. Fred and Donna is the perfect example.
Yep. Roll the dice.
Yeah. Fred and Donna is the perfect example. Like legit, Fred and Donna's example is so perfect that on all the time that Fred and Donna, you saw Fred and Donna together on Sanford and Son, you might have only saw one woman that Fred dated in the Sanford Arms. Y'all remember that?
Yeah.
Remember when Fred had the
Yeah.
Sanford Arms?
Hmm.
I think you might the whole time that show was on, you might have saw Fred talk to one woman. And I think her name was what's her name, like Lola Falana or something? Was that her name?
I
Yeah,
believe so.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Right. When she visited the Sanford Arms, and that's the only one. Outside of that, Fred used to see women all the time, and he didn't see Fred move a muscle, not to no other woman, because he loved Donna.
Mhm.
So yeah, man. Was it it was somebody, I forget what the lady name. It might have been somebody. It might have been somebody else. It wasn't Raquel Welch. It was somebody. It was a black. It was like a black beauty from like the 50s and 60s. I can't remember who it was exactly, but y'all get the gist though. So DSA, are you willing to work for the love of your life, or do you think it should be more organic? And if so, how far are you willing to go?
For the love of my life, I think there's got to be some work. Because nothing in life comes easy. And at the end of the day, the ultimate prize is that you have somebody that's perfect for you. And I think that in the midst of working with and for that person, organically, you grow into the person that y'all want to be together. So I think the answer really is you have to work for it to be organic. Or you could just deal with trolling just like I do. What about you, Troy? What do you think?
I mean, I think if you really like somebody and you can see a future with them, then yeah, you gotta. I'm willing to definitely do whatever I can to be with that person. You know, especially if I was in a situation where it was my fault and I messed things up, and I got to show that person that I want him back, and I'm willing to do things differently this time than the first time to show her that maybe I didn't put her, maybe I didn't set boundaries enough in the relationship, and you know um she felt like I made her an option, and I got to really show her that she was never an option to begin with.
That she was
You
a
know,
priority.
yeah, and it was always like that, but maybe she felt otherwise, and that's my fault. So yeah, like if you really if you really want that person in your life, and you want to keep them, then you got to go all out for them. You know.
As long as she understands that my office hours are from 9 to 5.
Right.
Okay. So when I hear you say that, bro, I think I might do the same thing. My only thing though is instead of like game, I always take like the honesty is the best policy thing. Right. I gotta give you the version of me that you're gonna see every day. Right. I can't promise you, and I can't be after 7. I'm not gonna be them. Because I'm not going to be able to give you the rain, the moon, the stars, and the mountains. I can't do all of that, right? But what I can do, is go to work every day except for days that I absolutely can't make it. Right. What I can do is make sure I don't leave no dishes in the sink. Stuff that I can kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like legit. What I realize is women want you to offer you those things. They don't really expect it, but they want you to say it, that you'll give them your all. Right. But in my mind, I'm like, hey, lady, if I'm giving you my all, what are you giving to this relationship?
And for me, now here's the question. When women say that they give their all, are they actually giving their all?
No, of course not.
Or do they give like a very high percentage? Right? Because they'll turn around and expect you to do X, Y, and Z. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
You do everything. But let's say, okay, it comes down to something like cooking, right? Like if you and a woman both know how to cook, but her thing is she'll only cook on the holidays. Well, wait a minute.
Okay.
There's 365 days of the year, and your only days of cooking is going to be Thanksgiving and Christmas,
Easter, yeah. For those that
like what? At that point, now, yeah, the yoke ain't evenly matched. What are we doing here? And I think that sometimes, and they'll sit there and say stuff like that. I went all out for you to do this. But wait a minute, you went all out on 3 occasions.
Well, that's all she think of you is 3 occasions. That's day and night and cooking. I only think of you on 3 occasions. Yeah.
That's day, night, and holidays.
Yeah.
And yet you're supposed to be babyface, pay your rent, buy you clothes, cook your dinner too as soon as I get home from work.
Pretty much.
I'd have thrown a tomato at the female that says that right now. You want me to do what now? Is that what you really want from me? If you don't get in that kitchen right now and make me a sandwich, make me a Quentin Grimes right now.
Right now. And not at the vending machine either.
I want all of that stuff. The lettuce, tomatoes. You gotta put some slice up some onions and oil, vinegar. I want all of that.
Right. Yeah. Hey, bro, I ain't even gonna front. For some of us, certain things are super important. Like to me, all right. So the most important thing to me in a relationship, I ain't even gonna front. It's gonna sound crazy, right? But to me, the most important thing is a woman with swag and confidence. That's the most important thing to me. I love that. That's a turn on for me, right? Like I like walking in the spot and people see Uncle Freezy and Miss Mocha. They be like, yo, there they go. I like that shit, bro. I like stuff like that. Some couples like sneaking in the crowd. Like, you know what I'm saying? I like the king and queen feel. You feel me? Like I like that feeling of, yo, such as, they did such and such, man. You got to go to their IG page. You know what I'm saying? I like that. That's a turn. That's like a plus for me. What I don't like though, and what I don't think I can kind of live with, is like a lack of confidence. Like when every time something happens, you're gonna be like, come on, man, come on. Why you? Everything is like a job. You feel me?
Yeah.
And I know some people like I have a friend right now, bro. He like, yo, all she got to do is be bad. I deal with all the other stuff. Period. That's how he say period, y'all. He say period. Like as long as like she bad, as long as like when she come around, the dudes wanna and the girls wanna be her, he's straight. I remember he broke up with a girl, bro. He broke up with a woman, bro. She had a baby, and she just afterwards, like, she just wasn't into like getting back in shape. She was just like, hey, this baby be having me up 3 o'clock in the morning, man. And you talking about, you know what I'm saying, such and such and such. And I'm gonna just and he was like, yo, we just broke up over that. She just wouldn't get back to the way that she was when I met her. And I was like, bro, you know she had a baby. It's like, yeah, I know. I can't help it.
Well, clearly it wasn't his baby.
Yeah, oh, it was, yeah. He paying, yeah, he was paying for that baby, yo, for sure. He's paying for that baby, bro. I know that for a fact. Cause our homeboy work at the courthouse. Our homeboy work at the okay. Yeah, our homeboy work at the courthouse. He was probably our homeboy, but okay. So he's a Freemason like us, right? That's his J. So like when, you know, like what he'll do is like, yo, I gotta like if you gotta get served for something, right? You're like, hey man, meet me up at the thing so I can serve you this thing. But for what? I mean, come on, dog. You already what? You gonna make me take it back to the bench? He's like, oh no, don't take it back to the bench, bro. You know what I'm saying? Cause then the police be in your yard with blue lights on. You know what I'm saying? They be like, nah, man, just man, I'll meet you up such and such. Ain't nothing gonna happen. I'm gonna just give you this paper. Just, you know what I'm saying, whatever. And so our homeboy, the one that with the baby, yeah, he got, without putting too much of his business out there, yeah. So, bro, but he lucky, bro. How many homeboys you know? How many homeboys you know that work at the courthouse and that work for the bench be like, hey man, nah, don't do nothing crazy, bro. I'm just, nah, man, just let me bring you this paper and that's it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He's looking out for you, bro.
Oh, absolutely.
That's how we know. Now here's the thing. Did we laugh at him? Yeah, we laugh at him. You know what I'm saying? But that's what friends are for, bro. To laugh at you when you down.
Of course. Of course. Trolling at its best.
Trolling at its finest, bro. Yeah. Man, so but yeah, man, he just was a dude like she got to be perfect. And if not, man, bro, we all different, bro. Y'all know that.
Yeah.
Are we though?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know. I mean, you know, I definitely like to kick people when they're down too. So I mean, you know, clearly we got the same mindset.
No,
Triborough might chuckle in the corner or something like that. He might not like poke fun, but he won't sit there. Nah, stop, chill out, fellas. Nah, he'll, you know, kind of.
I think sometimes you gotta be the bigger person sometimes, and just it's easy to do that, to poke fun at people, but then it's like when you see that you know, they might not handle it well, and then you regret doing it. So it's like I learned from that, like, you know, it's better sometimes to just ignore it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but when it comes to people likes and they dislikes, or people's likes and their neutral ground, I think everybody's different. Like some people have a lot of neutral ground. Some people will be like, yeah, she a cutie, man. I'm gonna holler at her, man, see where this thing go. And then there's some, their likes will even stop them from even going over to holler. right? Like some dudes would be like, man, that girl got extensions on. I mean, I ain't trying to girl, them big eyelashes. I ain't gonna I ain't. Some dudes don't like that. That's just for off rip.
Yeah.
Dudes be like, man, I ain't fuck that broad, man. You know what I'm saying? She like some dudes legit say size is a factor to them. Like if a woman be like a certain size, they be like, nah, man, I'm good, man. I ain't wow. You know what I'm saying? It's just what it is. And for everybody that's watching, y'all can kind of agree because y'all have y'all likes and dislikes.
Right.
Like the church girls, some of the church girls be like, yeah. Some of the church girls be like, man, I ain't. This is so. Some of the church girls be like, man, I ain't fucking with that. He don't go to church. I'm like, damn, your mouth nasty for a church girl.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? You got a filthy mouth for a church girl. Yeah, but
she's only half a heathen.
Yeah, she only like 0.37 heathen, bro. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's like, and like some people be like, if they not my religion, I can't mess with them. I don't care how fine they are. Right? Some people have their likes and their dislikes, bro.
Yeah.
So let me ask y'all this because I think we got like 3 minutes before I got to wrap up in like 3 minutes in order to like do the clips of it, right?
Yeah.
Real quick. What song reminds you of The Perfect Romance?
Yeah. Off top, I would say Total Kissing You. Just because it just it's soulful and it just gives me happy memories and you know it's not like one of those songs where it's you cheated and I stepped out the door. You know what I mean? It's just it's a happy love song.
Okay.
So that's what comes to mind like off the top.
What about you, DSJ? The song that make you think about the perfect relationship song. Like what song comes to mind?
Well, rest eternally, Frankie Beverly, because When You Love Someone by Frankie Beverly and Maze is to me probably the perfect relationship song.
I'm gonna make sure I clip this up to put this on IG and such. For me, I have two that I tangle with, and both are Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis produced. One of them is "Let's Wait a While" by Janet Jackson. You remember that from the Control album?
Yeah, is that what she told you at the con? Never mind.
Nah, her bodyguard. And the other one is "Can You Stand the Rain" by New Edition.
Oh yeah.
Every time I think about that song, I think about relationships. Now, oh shoot, we got like, let me do this. Hey, thank y'all everybody for coming through and rocking with us. So I'm gonna try to do this more often. Salute to the Triborough Gigolo. Make sure y'all check out the That Ain't Rap podcast. Salute to Delano Steele Jr., True Music, and Quick Tempered, my peoples. Salute to them. We're gonna get out of here. Y'all got to keep it under 2 hours. So peace, everybody.